Okay, so we're here tonight to look at angles in polygons, section 8 from chapter 8. So the rule for tonight is that the sum of the measures of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees always. So here's a triangle example for you. 90 degrees, 65 degrees, 25 degrees. When you add them all up, they always equal 180, no matter what configuration the triangle is. Now, it's kind of interesting to ask yourself why. If you can actually prove this with toys, because I like toys. If you take all of the angles on a triangle and put them together, what angle is 180 degrees? That's our straight angle. If we put all of our angles of our triangle next to each other, it makes a straight angle. There's our 180 degrees. Every single triangle, doesn't matter if this gets skinny, one of these gets fatter, at least, if not both. But they always add up to 180 degrees. Always, always. So that when you're given a problem that looks like this, and they usually call this one of them X, they won't tell you what one of them is. Haha. You have to solve for it. So you're going to look at this and you're going to say, okay, 65 plus 90, that's 155 degrees. And the total is 180 degrees, and you're going to subtract. And 180 minus 155 is going to give you your 25-degree answer. Always, always, always. Now, we're going to take this idea, and we're going to mess with it a little. Because the next thing I'm going to tell you is, oh, okay, we get to start with the diagonal. The definition of the word diagonal is a little different because it's in geometry now. It is a line segment connecting two non-adjacent vertices, this is a plural of vertex, of a polygon. So, any polygon that you have, and we're going to start with a four-sided polygon, if you connect two a vertex and a vertex, two vertices that are not right next to each other, if it goes through the middle of your shape, it's called a diagonal. And if you have something with a bunch of vertices on it, you're going to have a bunch of diagonals in there. So, on to the next shape, four sides. The sum of the measures of the angles in a quadrilateral equals 360 degrees. And this is mostly because it's made from two triangles. Anytime you've got a four-sided figure, you could cut it in half from corner to corner and make two triangles out of it. Here on this side, I've got a triangle that's this shape, and over here, I've got a triangle that's that shape. And if you add up all of these angle measurements plus all of these angle measurements, that's going to equal 360 degrees. The other way to show you, of course, is to do this. Let's check this out. I'm going to take this angle plus this angle. Now this is really easy to picture if you've got a square or a rectangle and you know that all of your angles are 90 degrees. But what if they're not 90 degrees? Turns out, there's a big fat one. Turns out it still works every single time. Look at how perfectly that just slides right in there. Itchy nose. So, anytime you have a quadrilateral and you are given this angle and this angle and this angle, and they call that one X, you know that if I want to find X, I have to add them all up and subtract those three from 360. You good with that? why don't you give it a try? Take a minute, hit pause, and work out this one so that you subtract from 180, and this one so that you subtract these from 360. Hit pause and come back when you're done. So I'm going to say 25 plus 37 is 62, and 180 minus 62 is 118 degrees. Here, I'm going to say 98 plus 137 plus 52 is 287, and 360 minus 287 is 73. How'd you do? Did you get 118 and 73? Because we're going on to the next level. What if it has more sides than just 4? I mean, I can't tear apart any more of the outside angles and connect them all because they're going to equal more than 360. And that doesn't create any kind of a shape that makes any kind of sense to us. So now what? Well, now we've got to figure out a strategy. How is it that we can look at a 5-sided figure, a 7-sided figure, a 24-sided figure, oh my gosh, and figure out what the sum of the angle measurements are? So your job, if your polygon has more than 4 sides, you're going to divide it up into triangles. And then for each triangle, you're going to multiply by 180. So here, let me show you. We're going to start with a 5-sided figure. This is a pentagon. I'm going to pick one vertex to start with, and that's going to be where all my diagonals come from. One vertex. Has to be all from one vertex or this doesn't work. So let's pick this one. Randomly, doesn't matter. Now, I can't go to this vertex because it's right next door. I can go to this vertex. And I can go to this vertex. But I can't go to this one. It's right next door. I have made 3 triangles. There's one, there's the second one, there's the third one. Now, I've got 3 triangles, and each triangle has 180 degrees, and now I'm going to multiply. So, for a 5-sided figure, for a pentagon, if I add up the measures of all of the angles, it's always going to equal 540 degrees. Get it? So let's try something slightly bigger. This is an octagon. Once again, I'm going to pick one vertex to start from. Can't go to this one. I can go to this one, and this one, and I have to go to all of them from this vertex. And I can't go to that one. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 triangles. And each triangle has 180 degrees, and I'm going to multiply. And so if I were to add up all these angle measurements, they would always equal 1,080 degrees. So it always depends on how many sides your figure has. All right, some real math for you to do. So here you go. I'd like you to try these 2 things. First, you're going to find the missing measurements, one from here and one from here. Then you're going to divide each of these polygons into triangles. You're going to multiply the number of triangles times 180 so that you can tell me the sum of the angle measures. Now, if there's something that you can't do on here or you're not sure about, rewind. Go back and look at it again. That's your job. make sure that you go back and see if you can understand it the second time through. Now that you know the whole picture, see if you can get all the parts, okay? If there's still, after the second time, if there's still something you don't quite get, put your triangle by it, but don't give up. Because remember, we want this program to work. We want to keep being able to do it this way. And that's going to take a little bit of work on your part. So make sure you go back and you try. So once again, stars on the easy stuff, triangles on the hard stuff, vocabulary highlighted. Okay? And I will see you tomorrow.